Please take a seat. We're going to start our second day of Funding the Commons. I am your guest MC, Raymond Chang. Thank you so much for coming. We have a really awesome lineup today. We're going to start with some opening words with David and Vivian.
We're going to just share about the residency.
We're going to share about the residency. Awesome. We also have a bunch of really interesting talks around refi, climate, privacy, ZK, also, and then some really cool fireside chats towards the end of the day. So really stacked lineup. Excited to get this started. We have the Builder Residency, which has been happening over the last... Please tell us more about it, Vivian.
Cool. So I'm sitting here with some of the residents at the Funding the Commons residency in the past month, and then it's the second time that Funding the Commons has its residency. It's like almost a full month of dedicated builders coming together, stay together, build together, and had a lot of fun together. So today, I think us sharing, David and I, it wouldn't be convincing how good it was. So we basically invited our residents to share their experience with you guys, to know what it is like to build with Funding the Commons, the environment we created in the past month. So I guess I can start off. There's only going to be 2 questions that I ask, because it's very short. We have very short time. What is the highlight of attending Funding the Commons residency this year? Either one of you can start. Of course.
We were all three the full residents.
Yeah.
No, I'm kidding.
I think, so the question is, what was the highlights for us? For me personally, it's definitely the people. Like, we can always build stuff like virtually, and we are connected in many Telegram groups, but you often notice that you have these ideas that you want to jam with people, you want to just cross-check, and that doesn't happen virtually as fast as they happen in real life, and also organically. And also virtually, when you are virtually building, you don't meet people serendipitously. You don't find suddenly like connections, or you don't explore other people's ideas that easily. And so for me, my favorite highlight are these 4 a.m. or 3:30 a.m. jams that sometimes some of the residents and I were still in the co-working space, thinking just about all different kinds of, like how Marco would say, the problems of the universe. But we specifically thought about, for example, how can we measure impact? That's something I deeply care about in my personal and career. And we came up with a lot of new kind of projects that we presented yesterday as well at Falcon Dev Summit, for example, Counterfactually, which is an algorithm that can use synthetic control and science to determine possible scenarios that now is actually getting discussed in the environment and the ecosystem. And that impact, sure, that could happen virtually, but it's so much nicer to have it in a space with people you trust, people you care about, and people you just vibe with, that it just happens organically. And that's definitely one of my highlights.
So before we jump into the other residents, a quick background is that starting last year, Funding the Commons started being inspired by Zuzulu and the related kind of a movement around pop-up cities and residency. Funding the Commons also had its own residency. Last year it was in Berlin, and this year we had it in Chiang Mai, which is another second largest city of Thailand. It's very chill. It's like village vibe. And you yourself, you just feel like really blended in and relaxed in there. So we have this really far away location where it's like a little bit distant from the city for the residents to stay together for 24 days in total. And within that 24 days, people basically bring up different ideas they want to work on and then collaborate with each other. A lot of time is just bouncing idea, creating workshops, self-organized different activities within the residency. And then what David just shared here is basically a really good example of, with a contained environment, how people can come together and bounce idea and create something amazing, like counterfactually.
Yeah.
And Marco, what about you? What is your highlight?
Yeah, same as David, we were in the first residency in Berlin, and this time was more like they took us to this kind of retreat in the middle of the forest, which is quite good because we are not in the city full of distractions, and we were just like fully focused on just staying together without any kind of pressure to build something in specific. And very interesting that first the number of nationalities that we encountered there and the level of different expertise. So is all the ingredients to magic to happen. So I remember that in the first or second day, like in my case, I just kind of thought about, okay, how can we create more sustainable funding for individual builders that don't have, let's say, like the resources or the you know, they can't dedicate full time at building something related with public goods because they need some kind of income or work for other projects. So we started by in the other way around. It's just like, let's just launch something and see how people react. So we just launched it like, let's say, it's a commons builder income, and we created like a token where people could claim like 10 tokens per day. And that was it. And they go directly to the smart contract and they execute a function. And that's how it started. And suddenly, like, the amazing part of the residency was like, we could never expect what will happen in the next day. So I started to give up on trying to imagine what will happen. And suddenly this guy just built like a null interface for that. And in the other day, someone created more features on that. And then like, what is this becoming? And actually now it's like a full, like with a manifesto, with a team of 6 people. Randomly, they just start deploying stuff. And now it's becoming actually a project. Like we are applying for grants. like people are reaching out. We won some grants without knowing it, right? We just discovered on X that people were sending, like we were being awarded with grants. Without what is going on here? So and suddenly, like in one night, 3 a.m., people are jamming, and suddenly I go for a coffee or a beer, and then. And then I come back and suddenly they are creating, there is all a new startup being built by people, random people like that. They were just there. And like, what is going on? And it's so amazing that so many experiments starting to appear because people just are in a very comfortable, you know, out of the noise, out of like the distractions of the city, and we were just kind of just living peacefully together and having fun. And it's amazing how that in the showcase day, even I was surprised to see, oh my God, is this guy who was working in this stuff so amazing all the time? And we never kind of figured it out what was going on. And it was so amazing to see how spark, how creation, and just by bringing like a very good, so congrats for that, for the selection of the people that you put together and then you just wait for magic happens. You put the right people in the right environment, and then you just wait. And it's amazing. And you don't need like much more than that. It's just like let people be comfortable and with brilliant minds, with different kind of skill sets, and get them excited about something that they work together. And I believe that most of these projects actually will succeed. And I'm very curious to see like what will happen to most of these projects in the future. So I'm very grateful for this opportunity to meet amazing people that I believe that will stay longer in my life, personal and professional life. If it's this project or another project, I know that I can count on them because we went through a lot of great moments together.
I think that's so sweet. One highlight is that I feel like we come together and build together, but at the same time, we also question each other on what we're building and then if it really makes sense for the space. So what Marco mentioned about Commons Protocol, we actually had a whole discussion around public goods, funding mechanism, and capitalism, how we better leverage, not leverage, but like embrace the nature of kind of our society right now and create the environment that we think is suitable for public goods builder. And even like that kind of discussion, it's just one of the things within residency, but at the same time so fulfilling just to have people to talk about it, build something about it, and experiment.
Yes, and the amazing thing, it was just all voluntarily. You know, like people just go to the repo, it's open source, and like they start deploying stuff, and every day there was a new feature or a new kind of mechanism and stuff, and I was kind of like excited to wake up every day and go and refresh to see what is new now, what is this new feature, what is going on, who built this, and then now like 6 people like building just without asking anything, and then it's like, okay, great, let's do this.
What about you, Shu? You're one of the core contributors of Commons Protocol.
Yeah,
and also building your own like different services, like and also juggling your own job. Like, what is this experience for you?
Like, that's a lot of fun for me. Like, my first time to join the residency, the right person, right environment, and vibes. That's a highlight for me. Like, you know. I'm building my stuff, and Marco is studying, you know, commons, and then I was like, oh, we need interface for them, and just, you know, build it for fun, and that's it. And the other day, you know, Ken started, you know, adding feature like NFT staking stuff, and the other day, new feature coming. That's cool, and you know, that, you know. People collaborate. If you need any help, that people help them, and you know, helping each other. That's cool. And one day I was struggling with, you know, understanding hypersearch, technical perspective, and you know, the guy from hypersearch called Ken. He helped me. Oh, you need help? Like, oh, let's do hypersearch 101, and then that's do a session about hypersearch tomorrow, and we built a calendar, and you know, like gather people and started talking about, you know, hypersearch, and you know, that's my. I was so surprised, like helping. I didn't expect that, you know, situation. Like, I just asked them like how to use hypersearch, but he started talking about, you know, the concept, you know, technical stuff, everything, and gathering people and helping people. Like, I love it, and I love that vibe, like helping people, each other. Yeah.
I think that's also one of the highlights of the residency is how we discovered that people are always so helpful and so kind to each other, willing to support, willing just to be there with everyone. Before we close this off, I want to ask David, Casey. We have two David here. What is it like seeing all the residents that we brought in together thrive basically within the environment we create, and like any words for them?
Yeah, so first of all, thank you guys for stepping up last minute. This is completely impromptu. For me, I'm like a bit of a perfectionist, so at the beginning I was like really stressed, like did we get everything right? Are the residents like going to be sharing workshops like with each other like they did in Berlin? And then at the end of the residency, I think it was like a couple days later, because you two had been in Berlin as well, and I was like, yeah, I remember there was like so much of that like peer-to-peer sharing, and you guys were like, no, this one was even better, like like in so many ways, and that really left me like, okay, just people from around the world, really like from I think 24 countries. And really incredible group of people. And there was one moment like at the end, like maybe sunrise after the last day where we were all talking and reflecting and like watching the sun come up. And yeah, for me, that was one of the most special moments. Just like, oh, we didn't talk about the gratitude circle. So I'm like, I like have seen a lot of and participated in a lot of gratitude circles in my hippie days, in my 20s, and I have never seen a gratitude circle that went on for 10 hours. Not in my life.
So the context for that is that before we close up the whole residency, you basically have the whole reflection day set up. It was meant to just for like 2-3 hours for everyone to share gratitude and then like what they learned within the residency. But then the whole circle went on for 10 hours non-stop, just people sharing their gratitude for each other. We have around 30 to 35 people, but each person take up like 20 to 30 minutes to receive gratitude from other people and receive appreciation for other people. And some actually shared that this is one of the most healing experience they have. Like everything they hear from the gratitude circle, like the way people describe them, is the opposite of how they think about themselves. But they are amazing, but they just don't know they are. And having this communal experience, a lot of it is about building that connection and then know the possibility of these connection and where that can bring us. Any last words? I think our time is up.
I think we need 10 hours for the gratitude that
We need another
For the audience, if we start to thanking each other, and maybe you guys, it will take some hours. So I just want to thank all the organizers for the selection process and all my peers. Yes, it was amazing. And maybe next time 3 months.
3 months? 1 year. 1 year? Wow. Yes. Thank you and love you guys.
Thank you.
Enjoy the rest of the day. Thank you.